everyone. Our online visitors, welcome. This is our arts forum where we link social justice to the arts. And this morning we have one of our members, one of our newer members, Narissa Bond, who is a phenomenal folk singer, songwriter, and guitarist, and we're so happy to have her here. So without further ado, Narissa, come on up.
Thank you. It is really great to be here. I'm going to share some of my songwriting journey with you and talk about some of my inspiration for some of the songs that I write. And so thank you for that very nice introduction, Dr. Jolie. So I'm going to start out. I'm actually from Texas. I was born in Beaumont, Texas. And my mom and dad worked at, and my mom went to school at Prairie View A&M. And I lived here until I was around 6 years old, and then we moved to Lawrence, Kansas. And so I grew up during the civil rights era, and I got a chance to listen to all of the music of that time. And so that's what I grew up on. I grew up listening to Peter, Paul, and Mary, Pete Seeger songs, Odetta, Dinah Washington, all the jazz people and all of the civil rights singer-songwriters of the time, Nina Simone. And so my sister and I, we went to protests, walkouts, and lots of different things during that time. And one of the things that my mom always instilled in us is to learn about our history. And so for everything that I was interested in, my mom bought me a book about those topics that I was interested in and taught me the history, the true history, not what we were taught in school, which was not true history. And this was during a time where misinformation was prevalent, just like it is today, and people said, oh, slavery wasn't so bad. You know, it was during a time when Disney was presenting Uncle Remus, you know, the happy slave, and we knew better, and we knew always to question those kinds of things. And so we, as I grew older, I still kept that going, where I studied history and studied a lot about Black history and the history of those who were marginalized. And so I was reading a book when I was living in Kansas City, Missouri, about a young slave girl who lived and died in Missouri. And the book is called Celia, a Slave. And it is a true, well, an almost true account of a young slave girl who was purchased for the sole purpose of being a mistress to the slave owner. And it was put together through court documents. And so I'm going to do that song for you first, and it's called Celia. Can you all hear the guitar? Okay. Driving east across Missouri to the edge of Little Dixie, through Lafayette County, past Arrow Rock, south of Kingdom City, about 1850, begins a story I will tell you. At 14 years old, Celia was bought and sold to a man named Robert Newsom. She would be worth her weight in gold on the long ride home skies. Robert Newsom took her against her will before they reached the next county. Celia was a young girl. Celia was afraid. No one heard the cries of a young slave. She was the property of a man with the power in his hands. For the slave there was no law or refuge in this land. Years went by. Celia waited and bided her time. Through those years there was evidence of the master's crime. Light brown children she bore. She had never known the touch of love, only the master's will. Still she cried to the heavens above. Celia was a young girl. Celia was a young girl. Celia was afraid. Celia thought one day she'd take the master down. She was the property of the man with the power in his hands. For the slave there was no law or refuge in this land. The master came to Celia's door like he had so many times before. When he demanded her favors, Celia said no. Well, he stormed into the room, shadows cast by the fire and the light of the moon. With the stick she struck him on the head. The old man fell to the floor, dead. Celia was a young girl, no longer afraid. She did as she had promised. For freedom she had prayed. From being the property of a man, she took the power from his hands. And for the slave there was no law or refuge in this land. In Callaway County, on a December afternoon, a young woman's life ended too soon. At the gallows her spirit rose above the trees and the life she'd known, singing freedom from this time and place, freedom from the master's chains, freedom from a life of shame. Singing freedom from this time and place, freedom from the master's chains, freedom from a life of shame. Oh, freedom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. My life has been woven into the history of this song, and I have recently just met some of the descendants of Celia, and I'm on a coalition with the descendants, and they are trying to exonerate her of her crimes, teach her story in the schools, and it's actually a bill that we're hoping that it will get passed in Missouri. And I've had the opportunity to sing this song in Fulton, Missouri, with a mixture of blacks and whites and some of the descendants of the slave owner are actually on the coalition to get her story told. And so this story is taught in law schools, and it's really fascinating. And I wrote this song in the 90s, and all of this has happened since then. So I could tell you a million stories about Celia. Anyway, so not only do I write about other people's histories, I also write about the history of my family. And thank you, Jay and Mom, for coming. My brother looks sleepy. I'm so glad you're here. So we've all come back to Texas. My brother has come here, and I've come here to live, and Mom is here. And so when I was growing up, we used to sit around the table and tell stories. And Mom told us lots of stories about my grandfather, and this is a song about him. He was a dowser. He could find water, and he could tell you how deep to dig for that well. He was a beekeeper. He was a carpenter. And I couldn't fit everything in the song. But anyway, I couldn't. But he was 73 when my mom was born. And were there 16 children? 16 children. He had 16 children. My mother was the last of that 16. So this is a song about James Marshall, and the song is called Wishbone. Granddaddy found water with a divining rod. It's like a wishbone turned upside down. Granddaddy went hunting in the afternoon, brought a squirrel home to Grandma to make squirrel stew. You can put your dreams upon the shelf, hold them close, jar, and tell nobody else. Or break the wishbones you've been saving, let your dreams fly free. Wishing bone. Grandma was 33, Grandpa was 73 years old. My mama was the last child they brought into this world. He said cry when they're born and laugh when they go. For colored folks, it was a hard, hard road. You can put your dreams upon the shelf, hold them close, chart, and tell nobody else. Or break the wishbones you've been saving, let your dreams fly free. Wishing bone. Granddaddy looked like a white man, but he never tried to pass, some folks didn't understand. The bus driver said, "Sir, you can ride up front." Granddaddy said, "I'm colored," it was a Jim Crow sound. You can put your dreams upon the shelf, hold them close, chart, and tell nobody else. Or break the wishbones you've been saving, let your dreams fly free. Wishing bone. My mama wished for me at 19 years, the brown color of my skin and black satin hair. Granddaddy died a few years before I was born. I guess I'll meet him in heaven when my time comes. You can put your dreams up on the shelf, hold them close, chart, and tell nobody else. Or break the wishbones you've been saving, let your dreams fly free, wishing bone. Mama drove down that dusty Lone Star Road, sister, brother, and I in tow, to a beautiful house built with love, barely held together with memories, and the well where they drew water found through the divine wishing bone. Thank you, thank you. You know, it's so funny. This is during a time when, critical race theory and, so much history is being suppressed and hidden. But it's so funny because I played this song in front of really conservative people that would probably support those laws, and they love this song. And it's amazing. I think that I was talking to my mom yesterday about how so much information is being suppressed, but it's really interesting because, it's like when you uncover certain truths, it brings us together. That's been my experience most of the time. And this next song that I'd like to play for you is also one of those kinds of songs, and it's probably one of my most controversial songs, and it's an anthem. I used to work for a community college, a very wealthy community college in Johnson County, Kansas, in Overland Park. And they had like this fantastic performing arts center. It was like brand spanking new with art gallery and everything. And it was just really fantastic. And they were performing a gay composer's work. And there was a group. I'm so glad that this man is gone from the earth, but his name was Fred Phelps, and he was a person who, I don't know if any of you all know about him, but Fred Phelps was, he was a hate monger. He had, all of the messages were about hate. He was racist, he was homophobic, he was extremely homophobic, and the messages were so horrible that I can't even repeat some of the things that I saw, the signs and everything. And I used to get really angry, used to get really riled up. This was in the 90s, and I had just come out, and I had to leave my church, and all of this stuff was going on. And I was really angry because I was like, how dare, it's like people have to go through so much, and then you have to deal with this on top of that. So I was in the Performing Arts Center. I was going to the concert, and I saw all of these pamphlets, and they were strewn all over the lobby. And I ran around, and I picked them up, and I went to the concert. I cannot remember the name of the composer at this time, but it was a beautiful concert. And I went home. I took my anger and my all my feelings, and I went home and I wrote this song. And this song is called I Live Here Too, and this is this is my dedication to all those people who are marginalized, and here we go.
I am black, the color of the night, in a beautiful evening sky, where the stars sparkle like diamonds, high above high. In chains of despair I came here from a home in Africa. I toiled the fields till I was free, still I rose above. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I am red, the color of sunrise.
I'm gonna start that one over.
Red, the color of sunrise, and the color of earth's clay. I was native to this land long before the white man came. They took away my land and they forced me to move on. I never did surrender, body and spirit still live on. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I am gay, the color of rainbows against the gray of the rain. My colors shine beautiful, proud against my pain, as I watch the signs of hatred and I live in danger's way. I will not give up my quest for justice, dream of a better day. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I am woman, the mother of the earth. I'm the blue in the sky. I am mountains standing tall. I am rivers running wide. There are those that seek to break me. There are those who would do me harm. My power is too great, and I've weathered many storms. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I am every woman and man, and those who dare to choose. If anyone is not free, everyone will lose. I have worked so hard to come this far, got a long way to go. In this place we call America, I call home. And I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live here too. I live in the land of
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for listening, and thank you for going on this journey with me. I have a lot more to say, and I am writing songs, and they're sitting in their little binders on my table, waiting for me to come home and to start working on them. So you have to come back again? Yes, for sure. But thank you so much. But I don't know if we have any time, maybe for questions or anything. I mean, I could squeeze another song in, but I don't think I really have time. But if anybody has any questions or anything, yes. When did you pick up the guitar? Oh, I started playing when I was like 7 or 8. My father played guitar. He was a theater professor, but on the weekends he played guitar. And so I was around music all the time. And I wanted to play guitar from the time I was real little. And so I started taking lessons. My teacher was like this hippie chick named Sandy Veach. And she lived in a commune and with 30 or 40 other people. And it was really cool. And she was a songwriter. And she had an album out. And so, that's when I started. I was 7 or 8. Was 7 or 8? Yeah, 7 or 8, yeah.
What location? What state? What city?
That was, we lived in Lawrence, Kansas at the time, the University of Kansas, yeah. So, any other questions?
How long does it take you usually to write and complete one song once you think of it?
I've had songs that I wrote in a night, and Celia took about a year because I couldn't figure out how to approach it. And once I kind of took the story into my heart and kind of made it my own, it was real easy to write it. But when I was looking at facts and dates and all of that, it just took me a long time. So whenever I can really kind of take an experience and bring it into my heart, it's real easy. And so it doesn't take very long. Yeah.
For your music, and Celia reminds me of Strange Fruit because the music is so beautiful and pretty and the story is so hard. And thank you also for bringing your grandfather into space. My grandfather was a diviner in East Texas, and he was biracial, and we'll have to talk.
We have to talk.
It was,
I don't know.
It was wonderful, thank you. Mo
we could
Shamlin.
be related. I don't know. We could be.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Narissa.
Thank you.
And I'm going to put her... I'm going to put Narissa on the spot because the last song you sang,
yes,
I Live Here Too,
yes,
is perfect for the morning service. So can you sing at the postlude?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
I knew she would say yes. Sure. At least I was hoping so.
Man, what an honor.
Thank you. I think it'd be awesome.
Thank you for
it'll go really, really
me.
well with the service and the sermon and everything. So thank you.
Okay, I can't wait.
Well,
we
have to get ready for our next service, so I'm going to ask if you all have questions and you want to talk to Narissa, you can do that over in the Channing Hall right next door. And thank you all to our online viewers as well. Thank you for being here, everybody, and thank you so much.
Thank you.